Hello guys and welcome. My name is Kat and thank you so much for joining me. Um, I am a longtime knitter and a longtime YouTube fan, although I just very recently started combining the two and watching a lot of other wonderful knitters on YouTube, and I got to thinking that I felt like doing this, starting a YouTube channel, would be something I would really enjoy, and would be a great way to connect with other crafters. This past year I moved to another state with my partner, and we now live in Michigan, where I've started my first knitting group, my first time really knitting with other people, and it's been such a wonderful experience getting to meet other people in this craft and learn from them and learn more about myself as well in the process and my process. So yeah, I've been supercharged lately with the wonderful fall weather that we've been getting here in Michigan, and so excited for cold weather knits. I've been making sweaters like crazy. It's been pretty fun. So I guess a little bit about me. I work a very busy job, so for me knitting is really a de-stressor. I definitely come home and relax with a bit of knitting. And I also have two wonderful dogs, Ziggy and Queenie, who you might hear barking on occasion. Sorry about that. I am currently wearing the Half Moon tee by Dragon Horde Designs. I actually made this last year around this time, and I love this sweater, except I definitely had a little bit of a miscommunication in the back. There is a section of short rows, which on my sweater are definitely not centered. So the fit is a little bit off as well, because at the time I made this in acrylic yarn. I never blocked it, right? So I would say there are some certain elements of fit that I don't love about this sweater, but I do love the look. I love the colors, and it is perfect as a transitional fall sweater. I tend to overheat a lot up top, so for me having a short sleeve with a little bit of room in it is really lovely, just so I can breathe and not feel constricted. So this is my Half Moon tee, and as well next to me I've got a knit front pillow that I made, Go Tauruses out there, and then this is actually my Mo of Change, which I knit up last year or the year before. I actually knit it in two kind of spurts. I had it as a mini, and then I ended up extending it, and this is all just one big, well, not one, many big, I believe they were Caron cakes, which were these really big balls of color changing yarn, which have since been discontinued. So I bought these on like super sale, and I just thought how fun for just a really big throw with all these crazy colors. And I absolutely love this blanket, although it is totally covered in pet hair right now. So I hope you can't see all of that detail from where you're sitting. So I thought first thing I'd want to go into today would be some of my most recent knits, as well as some works in progress that I have going on right now, as well as some upcoming projects that I've already got pinned down to do. I admit I love to organize, right? I think most of us do have somewhat of an analytical brain. And so I definitely actually sent a Google form to my family last night, trying to gauge what they wanted for Christmas, just so I could start to buy the yarn and pick out patterns and get to work, give myself a pretty good chunk of time to try and get everything done. try keyword. So I'm looking forward to seeing all their responses with that. I've got a fairly small family, so you know, just trying not to overwhelm myself by taking on too much in November and December. But with that, as I mentioned, I have been sweater crazy lately. I think it's the cold weather coming on, and just wanting more beautiful things in my wardrobe. So I've been really selfish lately, doing a lot of me knits, which has been great. Just kind of getting to celebrate myself and spend some money on me with some nice yarns as well. So I guess this one I finished last week, or the week before, I forget. It's still not blocked, but this is my Oxa sweater. And this is the Malabrigo Rios yarn in lettuce. And I saw this at the yarn store, my local, and I put down what I was going to buy and I bought this instead. It just caught my attention. I felt really bad because I was totally checking out and I was like, you know what, actually, can I have that? I'm really excited to see this once this blocks up, just because it's got this gorgeous yoke. I love this carry detail that is going on throughout, but I do just hope that in the block this spreads out a bit and you get a little bit of a better sense of the detail that's in there. I made this a little bit longer than cropped with a nice fitted sleeve. I think this is just going to be such a wonderful addition to my wardrobe, and I can't wait to wear it all the time. As well, last weekend we went up to a little village up north, just for a bit of a getaway, my partner and I, and it rained the whole time. So I got a lot of knitting done. And with that, I brought this big, bulky weight sweater to do. This is the Lempy sweater, which is a super bulky sweater. My first time actually really knitting with yarn this thick, and holy hell, is it a workout. My wrists and my fingers were not having it the first day, and I definitely got used to it as I kept going, and I loved how fast it knit up. I literally finished this in about 2.5 days, you know, which definitely has contributed to the fact that it's giant yarn, and I absolutely love how it fits. It is supposed to be knit with quite a bit of positive ease, and I didn't do that. Instead, I just knit the smallest option, and so it is a little bit more fitted than I think it's supposed to be, but I personally like that. And then it does have like a wonderful 3/4 sleeve, which I think is super functional, especially, like I said, for me who gets overheated really quickly. So this was done with this Cloudborne Fibers Highland Roving. This is the colorway Oatmeal Heather, I think. Oatmeal Heather. And this is a beautiful yarn, and it's so soft. I really did enjoy working with it a lot, and I do have I think 3 or 4 additional skeins of this. No current plan with what I'm going to do, but definitely some fun opportunity for something else that I can just knit up really quickly, which is kind of a joy at times, to just buzz through a project and do something small. So stay tuned for when I get distracted and I use the rest of this. But my other current projects, like I said, felt the need for some fall sweaters in my wardrobe. So with that, I envisioned something orange. I wanted an orange sweater. And I admit this color isn't exactly what I was going for. This is Rust in the Ecopono Chunky, which is a gorgeous yarn. And this is a blend. It's 48% cotton, 33% merino, and 19% baby alpaca. It's so soft, and it has kind of a chain net texture, and has been really fun to work with, although a little bit of a pain to rip out. Not that I've had to do too much of that, but you know, it happens. And I definitely did have a couple of faux pas in my current sweater that did require some frogging. So first-hand experience, not great for that. But I do love this kind of burnished reddish orange color, and it's got these beautiful kind of shiny copper undertones, which in the sun are going to be glorious. So that said, this is my current work in progress. This is the Gallus jumper. Which one's the front? This one's the front. It's virtually the same. I did just make the front a little bit lower in the neckline. So this obviously has got some fun details. It's not overly complicated. I didn't want an overly complicated cable sweater, but I just saw it and it just looked so inviting and cozy, and I just thought how beautiful this would read in a big warm color like this. So and I admit I was also very tempted to just leave it as a sweater vest, and I might go back and use this pattern for a sweater vest, because I just thought that just on its own the body itself was really fun. But I had a couple of little boo-boos with the moss stitching, and I had to go back pretty far to fix it. But as it was on, you know, the center of the garment, I had to do it. You can see, I put it in the back. You can see a little bit of irregularity there with the moss stitch, but again, it's on the back. So originally, this is actually a cropped pattern. I did add quite a bit of length. And I added quite a bit of length actually up top too. I was a little surprised by how short it seemed they wanted the distance to be. They said like 9 centimeters, and I ended up doing more like 20 centimeters from the bottom of the armhole to the top of the shoulder. So as well, it was supposed to have these big balloon sleeves, and I just didn't think that was really something that would make sense for me. So instead I did a fitted sleeve, and I added this braiding kind of cable down the middle of the top of the arm just to add some detail. And because I can't help myself, I'm also putting a super long ribbed cuff. So the way it sits right now, the cuff starts about here, and it's going to go down to about there. I want it to be kind of a roomy, long sleeve that I can always fold back. I think it's going to turn out really darling. I'm excited to see what my knitting group thinks about this, because I literally have whipped it out this week. So excited to finish this within the next couple of days and block it and finally get to wearing it. And I will, of course, block this green sweater as well when I do this one. I don't know why, I just haven't been bothered to do it yet. I'll do them at the same time, and then it'll be done. So those are my current, that's one of my current works in progress. My other current work in progress has been a bit of a disaster. So my dog likes to eat knitting needles, especially because I tend to work with bamboo needles. I just like the grip and the extra support that they add while I'm knitting, and especially because I pick up and put down my knitting projects a lot. Just a little extra protection not to accidentally lose stitches. So as you can see, Chigon. This is part of the sleeve. It is a bottom-up sleeve, as well as a bottom-up sweater pattern. This is the How Deep Is Your V sweater, which is a beautiful V-neck sweater, these gorgeous balloon sleeves. It's very airy and light, and I would show you the body, which is all the way worked up to the armholes, except my dog ate those needles too. And so most of those stitches aren't even on a needle right now. So I'm gonna wait until I've purchased some more needles to put it on before I touch it too much, because I'm already going to have to go back and do a little bit of work there. But I do love this kind of light denim wool that I'm working with. It's a little bit scratchy, I'm not gonna lie. It's a local wool company. Support your local, but I think in hindsight I really should have maybe worked with a merino, a mohair as well on this, just for added comfort and also to add just kind of an air of fun. But it is a fairly loose fitting garment, so I'm not overly concerned about the itch factor, but it is a little bit rough to the touch. But again, I do love this color, and I do think it's going to look very nice on my skin tone and with my eyes, if I do say so myself. So like I said, I need to go buy some more needles, because my dog ate 2 sizes of 6s. Thanks. So dang, I gotta go to the yarn store. Whoops. So stay tuned for that as well, and hopefully by my next video I can either show you my progress or have it completed. So the last thing I wanted to talk about today is some of my upcoming projects. As I mentioned, I'm waiting to hear back on some Christmas present specific stuff for my family, trying to figure out what I need to buy, how much I need to budget, both time-wise and also money-wise. But I have already gone ahead and bought some yarn for a couple of other projects. One for me and one for my boyfriend. So this first one for me, I bought this beautiful, super bulky, or maybe this is a single bulky. I'll look into it. Anyway, this is from Cloud9 Fibers. This is a wool and silk blend, and this is the colorway Limelight. I just love this like bright yellow. Yellow is one of my favorite colors. So I know it's a little bit of a hard color to wear, but I kind of love that. Like, I love how challenging it is, both for the wearer and for the viewer. I like to be bold in my style, so I thought this would be such a fun sweater vest. So I actually have 3 skeins of this, which I'm so excited to work on soon. So stay tuned for that. As well, while we were out up north on vacation last weekend, I went to local yarn store there on a recommendation from someone from my knitting group who was familiar with that area. It was a beautiful store. It was called the New Ewe up in Newaygo, Michigan. So it's a quilting store as well as a fiber store. They didn't have a huge selection. It was a lot of Barocco and Blue Sky Fibers yarn, some Noro, some Malabrigo, and I wasn't really seeing anything that really caught my eye until I saw this gorgeous drab kind of olive. It's got a lot of brown undertones. It's very neutral, almost taupe. And I just thought, what a cool color. I think it's just very chic. And it's 100% cotton actually, which I think is perfect for my partner. He's got somewhat sensitive skin and has been wanting a cabled kind of fisherman style sweater. So I thought for him, especially because he also tends to overheat, that cotton actually might be a really good solution. And it is so soft. I've never actually worked with Blue Sky Fibers before, but everything I saw in the store that they carried was just gorgeous. And I went big and I bought 10 skeins of this just to make absolutely sure that I could finish a project for him. He's probably a men's size medium to large, depending. So Haven't quite decided on a pattern to do with this, but like I said, something cabled, very classic and traditional, which is definitely more of his style. So excited to work something up for him as well. Yeah. So I suppose that's all I have to share with you guys today. Please, I would love it if you leave a comment, show me anything that you're working on, what you're excited for fall knitting, or if you had any comments, suggestions for anything that I'm currently working on. I'd love to hear it. I'll link my Instagram as well as my Ravelry page down in the description. Please check me out. Like I said, excited to become more in touch with the community. So, with that said, have a great day.